Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. How's everybody getting along on this great weekend? Hope everybody's having a good one. I want to thank you for joining me for this edition of Meteor Mark's Weather Tropical Edition. We have newly formed Tropical Depression 10 here in the northwestern Caribbean. This system's going to continue to be stuck over the Cancun, Cozumel area. And eventually, as we head towards Monday and Tuesday, this system's going to head into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. So yeah, this system is going to be heading towards Florida. We'll see just which part of Florida has the best chance of landfall. And once it gets past Florida, will we be looking at this system potentially stalling over the Carolinas as a big blocking high builds into the north. And I will be looking at Hurricane Franklin as well. This system could actually be affecting Bermuda in some way now as this system continues to push further to the east than expected. Does this mean New England and Nova Scotia, Newfoundland are off the hook? We'll get into the details. The Atlantic is becoming alive as we're watching a few other areas, especially out in the Cape Verde Islands. We'll see if there's any chance of development out there. And we're going to head to the Western Pacific, north of the Philippines. We could be looking at we are actually looking at major Typhoon Saola here, heading towards potentially Taiwan and China. Let's get into it. All right, so let's take a look between Hurricane Franklin over here and south of Bermuda and our newly formed Tropical Depression 10 here. Yeah, this system is going to be quite a thing here as we continue to go in time. This is going to become our main system as it exits the Caribbean, bringing some heavy rains to the Cayman Islands, maybe a little bit of rain over here to Jamaica. But the big news is going to be the system strengthening as we head throughout Sunday and into Monday. You see it entering the Gulf of Mexico, heading north here, becoming a maximum tropical storm by, it seems, right around Tuesday here. And as we head later on in the day on Tuesday, we could be looking at a Category 1 hurricane. Could this actually become a Category 2? It is possible considering the sea surface temperatures here in the Eastern Gulf. I think it does have the potential to become a Category 2. Here is the storm moving on the 30th at 11 a.m. So we're looking at landfall. It looks like early afternoon here on the 30th. Now, I warn you here, these systems that come into the Eastern Gulf and come in at an angle from the southwest, they can stray off and go a little bit east of guidance. So I warn you, here in Tampa, you're going to be on the eastern side, so you're going to get some effects even down to Cape Coral here. So watch out. Right now it's looking good that the system is actually going to head towards your north to strike an area between the Panhandle and the peninsula here just northwest of Tampa. But as I said, this is a couple days out. Things can change. Coming in at an angle like this to the coast, a couple degree angle can really make the difference with this storm. You see high pressure blocking the storm to the north, so that's going to become a thing. Once this storm makes landfall early afternoon on the 30th, which is Wednesday essentially, and heads inland towards Jacksonville up to Savannah, Charleston by the 31st, it is going to start to slow down in response to this big old massive high to the north here. European is making this high a lot stronger than we originally thought. So that's actually going to block the system, it looks like, from heading north, making the system slow down across the Carolinas. We could be seeing 10 to 15 inches of rain across these areas, so I'll have those rainfall amounts a little bit later on in this video segment here. But you can see it actually forces the storm actually bending southeastward here towards September 2nd, so becoming a much more elongated storm. Could it clip Bermuda out here? It is possible that it could, but it's going to be heading into the area that Franklin just went through. And look at this. It does start to re-strengthen, and yeah, it does take it towards Bermuda, towards the 5th, right over Bermuda. So that's something we definitely need to keep an eye on. So taking a look at Franklin here, yeah, this storm is likely to become a major hurricane. Look at this, 125 mile per hour. Would not be surprised if this actually can go to low-end Category 4. So we'll have to watch out for that. Let's see the path of this thing. Yeah, it's going to be steering around a couple high-pressure areas as well as an area of low pressure that initially is up here in the North Atlantic. So that's going to help pull it initially back towards the east here. You can see, let's see here on the 28th, the system really starting to re-strengthen really fast here. Look at this system strengthening, and here the European model has been bending a bit back east here with this system. This is a bit curious considering we have another trough up here up by Nova Scotia and Newfoundland here. So we got to keep an eye on this. Bermuda is still not completely out of the woods with this storm yet, so very concerned about this. And heading due east. So this run of the European model is showing that this high pressure over the northeast is actually going to help actually push this system well away from southeast Canada. So that's great news for southeast Canada, but this could end up with a double whammy event here for the Bermuda area. So definitely got to keep an eye on this. We might be looking at dual hurricanes here for Bermuda, which would be very bad news. And if that weren't enough, we are watching another area out here by the Cape Verde Islands through the next 7 days. If we put this into motion, you can see it coming off the African coast around the 29th. The one thing with this system, though, it is looking like it's going to strengthen pretty fast here and then move up actually towards the Azores as it finds a weakness here in the subtropical ridge. So we have plenty of time to watch that. That could actually change between now and then, so something we'll have to keep an eye on. All right, so the GFS, we'll take a look at Tropical Depression 10, see what's going to happen with this system. Take a look at this as we head through the 20... So, yeah, if you look, the 27th, the 28th, it's essentially stuck over Cancun here. So this system is really going to bog down here over the northwestern Caribbean, producing a lot of heavy rain here as it slowly heads to the north. Now, you can see as it enters the Gulf of Mexico here on the 29th and into the 30th, the system starts to pull to the north. Now, the GFS is wanting to curiously pull this a bit further to the west towards the Panhandle, as you can see. So we'll have to keep an eye on this trend. It actually brings it in, there it is, just around Panama City. That is a bit westward shift here on the latest GFS. This is a development we're going to have to keep an eye on. You know why that is because the GFS is pushing the high here further to the west. So that's allowing the storm to bend a little bit further to the west here, whereas the European had this high pressure building in further to the east here, essentially pushing the storm a little bit to the east. It's all about positioning of these highs, lows, these troughs. So this is something we'll have to keep an eye on, but I do more agree with the European model at this point. Look at the GFS bringing this way up to the north. I don't think I'm buying this too much. It is taking it into the mid-Atlantic region by September 1st. So a lot of heavy rain for the Appalachians. That's a development we'll keep an eye on. We'll keep that solution potentially on the table here. So as we go to Hurricane Franklin, let's see what the GFS is doing here. Let's get a bird's eye view. We'll see that eye form. Look at that. By the 28th into the 29th, yeah, the GFS is taking this dangerously close to Bermuda as well. So this is something we really need to keep an eye on. I'm a little worried that Bermuda could end up getting potentially big effects from this system. And of course, our next storm over the Gulf heads up towards southeast Canada. So, yeah, I'm more in line with the European at this point, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it here. Take a look at our system out here in the Atlantic, though. The GFS really spins this up. Look at this, becoming a major hurricane by September 6th. This is pretty far out, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. What happens with this system, though? As we continue to go in time, let's take a look here. Yeah, the system continues head towards the northwest, and unfortunately, it starts to head in the direction of Bermuda. So this could be a situation where Bermuda is having some major storms head very close to it. We'll keep an eye on it here. Dry air analysis at mid-layers in the Atlantic Basin, thanks to TropicalTidbits.com. Take a look at this. Yeah, our Gulf system is initially going to be battling some dry air. It looks like Franklin is essentially destroying that dry air there, moving off to the northeast there pretty rapidly. So as you can see, yeah, European taking closer to the Bermuda area. Look at the surge of moisture there across Florida, though. Look at that. And then our next system out here by the Cape Verde Islands as we get into the 30th and the 31st. So, yeah, dry air is not really going to be a thing for our two main systems here. And as you can see, we could be talking about our Gulf system for quite a while here. Lots of dry air, though, in the mid-layers MDR as we head towards September 5th. All right, so rainfall amounts down here in the Caribbean with our big system in the Western Caribbean heading up towards Florida. Look at this. So yeah, as we head over the weekend, the rest of the weekend, Cayman Islands getting in on the act of 40 to 60 millimeters, about 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches of rain. Most of the rain is going to stay to your west. Jamaica picking up close to about 35 to 50 millimeters, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches here. So yeah, that continues as we head on to next weekend. Look at that. Another tropical wave is going to bring some heavy rains across Jamaica here. Look at that. So yeah, we could be looking on the order of another 70 to 80 millimeters of rainfall, probably 2 to as much as 3.5 inches of rain, and that translates over towards the eastern part of the Caribbean as well. Look at Florida up here. Yeah, you're going to have those rainfalls heading north towards you as well. And the Lesser Antilles here, Puerto Rico region, here it is, Franklin pulling away. It's not until later next week across the Lesser Antilles, parts of Puerto Rico, you start to pile on some rainfall here. It's going to be on the order of 45 to as much as 75 millimeters of rainfall. Talking about a solid 2 to 3.5 inches of rain likely. And I just wanted to show you the southeast zoomed in here what the European model is forecasting. You know, the good news is this does, it is going to start to accelerate. So rainfall, it looks like coastal areas staying in that 2.5 close to 4-inch range. It's right offshore we're going to get those 5, 6, 7, 8 amounts. But look it up here in eastern Georgia, parts of eastern South Carolina, North Carolina. This is where we could see on the order of 10 to 15 inches of rain as the storm starts to slow down as high pressure blocks it to the north. So for the eastern Pacific here, we're not looking too bad. The only storm we have to look forward to here is this system out here into the eastern Pacific. And as we go in time towards the 29th, September 1st here. Yeah, this is going to ride towards the Hawaiian Islands here. But let's see what happens here. It does try to flare up a few times. It does seem to make it by September 4th. This is something we are going to have to keep an eye on because it could make it to the Hawaiian Island chain on this easterly flow from this high pressure steering towards the north. So yeah, some heavy rains. You do need the rains here in portions of the Hawaiian Islands. So here into the Western Pacific, we are watching Typhoon Saola here. Yeah, this storm is a major deal just sitting northeast of the Philippines here, the northern Philippines. We're going to continue to watch this storm. It is heading away from the Philippines. In time, it looks like it's going to continue to remain a very strong typhoon and probably re-strengthen as we head towards the 28th. So that is something to keep an eye on. Could this end up clipping Taiwan? That's what guidance is showing. This system remaining a extremely dangerous typhoon as it heads towards the island of Taiwan here. So the southern portion here, and then eventually into China, coastal China, where it does start to break down and stall. We do see an area of low pressure forming just to the southeast there that could actually develop crazily here into another tropical system and head up towards the Korean Peninsula here. And then another storm by September 5th forming just south of Japan here. So where is our other system going over here? This is Domri here. This storm could actually, recurve pretty readily here if we get a timestamp going on here. This is the 26th, and as we continue to go in time, right around the 27th, this is a very fast mover. It does take a hard right turn, and that trough there picks it up and sends it to the northeast. So yeah, our systems here into the Philippines, we are going to continue to watch it as we go out in time here. Looks like the heavy tropical rains continue across portions of the northern Philippines, and that's only going to continue to grow here towards September 4th. There's that system forming. We look at this system here. We may see some very heavy rain moving into parts of the Philippines as we go through the first week of September. And here across the Western Pacific, let's take a look. Our big old typhoon here. Yeah, on the GFS Saola, this system is going to continue to head away from the Philippines. That is some great news, but this is going to continue to be a very strong typhoon. GFS taking it east of guidance right towards the central part of Taiwan here. So this is something we'll definitely have to keep an eye on, and then off towards China. So a lot of these storms seem to be broken records. Here's another typhoon forming just south of Japan. What happens with this system, though? This could be devastating if this unfolds. Look at this. This is towards September 3rd. We have another typhoon out here southeast of Japan. But look at this. The southern part of Japan heading up towards the Korean Peninsula. we could be looking at a massive hit here on the South Korean peninsula. However, I do warn you, this is 231 hours out, so a lot can change between now and then. So if we take a look at our HRRR future radar here, the only thing that I'm seeing as we head over to the overnight hours of Saturday night here is some inclement weather here, some showers and thunderstorms from the Capital District southward towards parts of the Mid-Atlantic here. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on our system there in the Gulf. But, you know, as we head in time, the big story this weekend here as we head towards Sunday evening, look at these showers and thunderstorms blossoming across the southeast. Some of these, especially in Georgia and the Carolinas, could contain damaging wind, large hail. So we get through the most of the weekend here in the northeast until we get, you know, some slugs of moisture heading up towards Monday here. Binghamton area, Scranton, maybe some showers and thunderstorms. Here across the southeast, we're staying mostly dry, but look what is just to your south by this point. This is the outer feeder bands of what could be our newly formed tropical storm by then. There's our last frame. Yeah, it's going to be definitely ominous as this storm slowly chugs towards the north. And here's some showers and thunderstorms developing across the east. I have plenty more weather here. Stay tuned for the rest of my video, but I have a quick announcement here from my affiliate. Take a look at this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MediaMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. And Robert sending in some videos here from back on Thursday night here. A big lightning storm heading across the Dunkirk, western New York area. His daughter Jewel picking this up on this nice video capture here. And as you can see, lightning continuing in this clip of the video as well. Look at that. It was a sight to behold. Constant flashing of lightning. We've been getting a lot of electrical storms lately into the northeast. And here it is continuing, picking up more showers and thunderstorms, lightning, tremendous amounts of lightning as we head across the western New York area this past Thursday night. All right, so take a look at the European model. We'll take off where we left off here with our mesoscale. So our Gulf system moving up to the north and then eventually the northeast. Looks like moving in just north of Tampa there between the Panhandle and Tampa. Very interesting track there. There's Franklin out there as well. So we're going to be looking at our two main systems. High pressure building across much of the Great Lakes into the northeast. As we continue in time, this system spreads across the Carolinas into Thursday the 31st. Look at high pressure, though, building here across the northern tier of country, keeping it very nice. You know, some late summer weather. Get out there and enjoy it. It does look like this high pressure, at least on the European model now, is strong enough. It's a double barrel high to keep this thing moving out to sea. So, you know, those of you in the northeast, it looks like this system might be pushed out just to the northeast of the Bahamas there as we go through September 4th into September 5th. Across the Ohio Valley northeast, you're going to see a lot of dry weather. If I go back here, you know, you only see a chance of showers and storms here in the parts of the Ohio Valley northeast late Monday night and Tuesday. That continues, you know, into Tuesday night and Wednesday before we have that big push there. You can see high pressure building in and essentially keeps us nice, let's see, through Labor Day weekend there. That is looking beautiful. There is, right after, well, actually, this is Labor Day here, Monday. You might have some scattered showers and thunderstorms here across parts of upstate New York into the St. Lawrence Valley up here into southeast Canada. So watch out for that. And as we take a look at liquid equivalent precipitation amounts here, take a look at this. We're heading through the week here, and you can see the southeast is going to be the big winner here. Look at that. Most of Ohio up to Michigan, Indiana, mostly dry in the Great Lakes region, except for parts of upstate New York, northern upstate New York, into northern New England. The big story here is going to be the southeast. where parts of Florida we could be getting upwards of 3.5, 6.5, maybe close to 8 inches in some of these areas. So all the way up to the Carolinas here, especially coastal regions. So here's our temperature. Look at the heat dome really starting to break down here. I know it's still horribly hot here in eastern Texas and Louisiana. Look at that, 105 to 110 degrees. But look at this, a big surge of cool air. And if you can call this cool, this is 80s near 90 here in South Dakota. That is much better than what you've had for your Sunday into Monday. Look at this. Yeah, things are really moderating out. This is the first time you're below 100 here for the highs in north central, northeast Texas. That is great news. We're going to continue to spill this cooler air. Look at the 70s here across the Great Lakes into the northeast for your Tuesday for that matter. Look at this. Yeah, there's even some 60s up here into the northern lakes, 70s across this general region here. And look at this, we're knocking the 100s down. That is some really intense, great news here into Wednesday. We continue that trend. Look at that. We have 80s. Now, a lot of this will be with some precipitation potentially, heavy rains. But look at this across the lakes. Look at that, 60s there for northern upstate New York into northern New England. For your Wednesday, the 30th into the 31st, the last day of August. Hard to believe we're there already, but 60s continuing. There is indications that a surge of 90s will start to move into the central and northern plains. But, you start to see a trend here that we're going to try to get this heat dome back up and running as hundreds spread across Texas. But look at that. To end the week there in the northeast, nice 70s. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Binghamton to Scranton's Upper Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Sunday, Thursday here, we're looking at partly cloudy skies for your Sunday. 74 degrees, that's nice. Look at the sleeping weather in the 50s. And a Monday, scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Only a 20% chance into your Tuesday as well. We'll carry that over into Wednesday. And it gets colder, or should I say cooler for the end of the week, 71. And look at that sleeping weather, low of 48. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of Media Marks Weather. Take a look at my Facebook page at Media Mark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern to follow the tropics. And if you want to hop over to my Twitter page, it's at Weather Eastern. It's MediaMark.com. Thanks for joining me. Question or comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted when a video comes out.